2020, what a year it has been. Apart from all the COVID craziness, this has been an excellent reading year for me. I'll tell you why. I was hospitalized between Jan and March a lot, and so I was able to get a lot of reading done in the hospital. Then the lockdown, read, some more, and then BookTube happened. When I started watching and joined BookTube, I got a lot of fantastic recommendations. I think I've bought and read a variety of books this year, and that is why my top 5 books of 2020 are very, very diverse. I have today to show you 2 YA books, one gigantic fantasy book, and then 2 works of literary fiction, both which were shortlisted for the Booker Prize 2020. I'm going to dive right in and start with the YA books. So the first book is this one, The Serpent King. So this is about 3 outcasts, 3 misfits who are friends with each other. So we have Dil, who is the son of a pastor who committed a crime and has been thrown in jail. So he gets bullied a lot because of this, and his thing in life is to play guitar, and that is one thing that takes him away from all of this, and of course his friends. Then we have Trevor, who faces a lot of problems at home. He has a very problematic family life, but he is a total nerd and he is addicted to this book series called Bloodfall, and he does these awesome nerdy things like carry a staff around with him, okay? And then there is Lydia, who I think is the coolest of the lot. She is a fashion blogger with a very, very popular fashion blog, and she cannot wait to get away from their small town life and make it big. And these 3 characters come together in this story and make for a very, very, very memorable book. What I loved about this book. So I loved the friendship and the relationship that the 3 characters shared. It was beautiful. I loved that while it was about teenagers, it was not angsty. It didn't have any elements of high school romance or cliques or anything like that. It was very, very refreshing and different. And I loved that it was a sad book and that it made me cry. Sounds weird, but sad books are sometimes the best written books and the books which have the most depth to them, and this definitely was one of those. The second book is another king. It is The Wicker King, and this follows 2 boys named August and Jack. August is a total misfit at school, while Jack plays on the varsity rugby team, I think, or football, I'm not sure which. And so he is very, very, very popular. But outside of school, the 2 are friends and they get closer and closer. No, they do not fall in love. What happens is that Jack starts having these hallucinations, or what seem to be hallucinations, where he builds up this whole magical world in his head, and then there suddenly is this big quest he has to go on. So it's a test of friendship for August. Should he believe Jack? Should he believe what Jack sees is real? And should he go on this dangerous quest with his friend? This is such a unique and interesting premise. It is absolutely amazing, the world that Jack builds up with the Wicker King as its ruler, and the danger he believes he's in, and the quest that he has to complete. And August really, really stands by his friend even through these most confusing times, which I think is something I haven't seen in a book before. So what I loved about The Wicker King, apart from the friendship, was that it had fantastic mental health rep. August kind of becomes anxious at one point. He's suffering from anxiety. There is Jack, of course, who has the hallucinations, and I think they are very well depicted in this book. I also really, really loved the mystery aspect of it, because even as the reader, when you're drawn into Jack's world, you're not sure what is real and what isn't, what is right and what is wrong, and it is just spine tingling. So this book is a must read, and of course I have to say all the books in this video are 5-star reads, but I would give this one more than 5 stars if I could. My third book, the fantasy one, is The Priory of the Orange Tree. And yes, I know that this book looks huge, but dude, it is a standalone, okay? It is not a series. If you were reading a series, you would be reading 500 to 700 pages in each book. And Samantha Shannon, I don't know how she did it, but she's made this amazing epic of a book which has fantastic world building, fantastic characters, and a beautiful, beautiful story. And she's stuffed it into these 800 pages, but nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels like it's badly written. There are no loose ends. It's a masterpiece of a book. So the main thread of this story is that in the west side of this world, there is this big dragon called the Nameless One who is going to rise with his brethren, and he is dangerous and he wants to destroy everything. We have three main characters. So we have Queen Sabran, who has to protect her kingdom from this dragon. We have Iyad, who is part of a mystical society called the Priory of the Orange Tree, who also want to stop and slay the Nameless One, but she is stationed as a lady in waiting in the palace of Queen Sabran, and she has to use magical powers to keep her safe, but magic is forbidden at the palace. And then we have Tani, who is a dragon rider. What? Are the dragons dangerous? Yes. So there are two types of dragons in the story. So there are the Western meanies, and then you have the Eastern dragons who are very gentle, very kind, very helpful. So she comes from the East. So all these three characters come together along with the world building, along with this danger, along with the politics to create this beautiful story that I cannot reveal any more about because I'll be giving you spoilers, but it's so good. So what I loved about this book, one, LGBTQ plus representation. There was a female-female sapphic relationship. Number two, very strong and very well written women characters. Number three, that it's not part of a series. And number four, that for such a big giant hulk of a book, it was very, very easy to read, and I finished it in 3 or 4 days. The fourth book, it is written by an author of Indian origin. It was shortlisted for the Booker Prize 2020, and it is a work of literary fiction. You guessed it, it's Girl in White Cotton by Avni Doshi, or Burnt Sugar as it is known abroad. This is about a mother named Tara and her adult daughter Antara and the dysfunctional relationship between them. So Tara starts losing her memories, and so her daughter Antara starts remembering things from the past, from her childhood, from the time that she was growing up, and she realized what a difficult childhood she had, what a difficult journey she had with her mother. And I think part of the story explores how she is, worried that she will grow up to be just like her mother. Okay, what I loved about this book, one, it is very, very well written. Number two, the mother-doer-daughter reminds me a lot of my mother and myself. Of course, I did not have that troubled of a childhood, but there are elements that every Desi child will be able to relate to when they look at Tara and her mothering and Antara's childhood. I also loved the metaphor of the white cotton. It is carried throughout the book right to the very end. I can't explain it because it's spoilery, but if you want to know again, go watch my video explaining what happens at the end of White Cotton. And of course, this is written by an author of Indian origin, so woohoo for that. I'm kind of sad it didn't win the Booker Prize, but whatever. The Booker Prize winner, I think, is my favorite book of the year. And that, of course, is Shuggie Bain by Douglas Stewart. I watched the Booker Prize ceremony live, and I vlogged my reaction to Shuggie Bain winning this prize, and I will have that video linked above and below so that you guys can check it out. It is so funny to see how excited I got that Shuggie Bain won, but that is how good this book is. It's not happy-go-lucky. It's not in between. Little bit of happy, little bit of sad. It is bleak. Like, this is one of the saddest books that I've ever read. It made me cry even when A Little Life didn't. So yeah, this is the story of a very young boy named Shuggie Bain. I think he's 5 or 6 at the time that the story begins, and he grows up with an alcoholic mother, Agnes Bain. Now, the father leaves at some point, the mother's marriage ends, and we have the adult kids who move away as well. So Shuggie is the one who remains stuck with his mother, and his entire world kind of revolves around her drinking, her periods of being sober, her periods of being super drunk. He has to take care of her. He has to do things like collect welfare money for her. So he's growing up in poverty, he's exploring his sexuality, and he is stuck in this relationship with a mother who cannot take care of him. What I loved about this book. Okay, so this might not be for everyone, but I really liked the writing. I told you sad books are sometimes the deepest books, and this one made me cry. And last, we have Shuggie Bain, who is this child who has this big burden in life. As a parent, I really, really felt for him. Every page, every scene, every bit of this book had me kind of, holding my breath and kind of seeing, oh my God, are things going to get better? Are things going to get better? Are things going to get better? They don't. And this is not a spoiler. Like, things do not get better. The story progresses, Shuggie grows older, that good happy thing which you're waiting for, it's not going to happen. So if you read this one, which I think you really, really should, you have to go in with that mindset of, this is a sad book, it's going to be sad throughout, but it's very well written, and Shuggie Bain is awesome, and Agnes Bain sucks, and yeah. So here are my top 5 books of 2020. Let me know if any of these books makes your favorites list, or if you've read any of them and what you think. You don't have to have loved them. I would love to have a discussion in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for supporting me as I started this new channel in 2020. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.